All right, guys. Today we are going to be reacting to the German military will become Europe's most powerful, and here's why. Let's jump in.
That don't fly. Standard issue assault rifles that don't shoot straight.
Oh, what happened? Man, what happened here?
And shortages in ammunition, boots, and even underwear during a NATO mission in Lithuania. These are the headlines that the once feared German military are currently making. Not to mention the hundreds of millions of euros that went to consultants in an effort to clean up the army's mess, with very little to show for it. German high-ranking officials are raising their concerns, and so are NATO allies, where statements such as these are not uncommon. Ever since the Cold War ended in 1991, Germany has allowed its military to deteriorate. And this is somewhat understandable, as Germany was busy integrating the West with the East, which posed great economic and social challenges. Over the last 30 years, there was simply very little incentive to have a powerful military, as Germany doesn't share a border with potential aggressors like Russia. NATO, and especially the US, was there for protection, and unlike the US and the UK, Germany had very few overseas commitments, and there was very little appetite for a large military among the population, who still remember the horrors of World War II. But now, overnight, everything has changed. Only 3 days after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, made a shocking announcement.
I never realized how big Ukraine is. Look at that piece of land, man. Wow. That's big, folks. That's a big piece of mass. No wonder Russia wants it.
Declaring that Germany will massively increase its defense spending and meet the 2% NATO benchmark. This was met by applause in parliament, and surveys already show that 75% of Germans support this decision.
Oh, wow.
But how significant is this increase? Let's have a look at defense spending across the globe last year in 2021. As you can see, Germany spent $52.8 billion, sitting at...
That's still a lot of money. Look at that. Wow. But you have to see the GDP, right? So the GDP, yeah, that's still a lot of money, huh?
7th in the world ranking list, slightly ahead of France, but significantly behind the UK and Russia. But if we compare percentage of GDP, Germany ranks much lower. Of the 20 biggest military spenders, Germany comes in 15th, as they only spend 1.4% of their GDP on their army. Many have criticized this lack of spending, as it is far below the NATO target of 2%.
Yeah.
However, once Germany hits the 2% target, things will look very different. Because of Germany's strong economy, military expenditure would rise to $76.12 billion, putting Germany into third place, ahead of Russia and the UK, making them the frontrunner within the EU and Europe by quite some distance. And German politicians have said as much, clearly stating that this is the intent. And it doesn't stop here.
But the thing is, spending one thing is right. So once spending a certain amount is one thing, right? But you say Russia, but Russia is spending with cheaper equipment. You see what I'm saying? So their military might cost less because their materials are less expensive, I will say, right? That's something that I think this video is missing. But 76
in an effort to modernize the military more quickly, Olaf Scholz has also dedicated a one-time special fund of over 100 billion euros to German defense.
Wow.
This is a lot of money, but spend doesn't necessarily equal military might. The UK, France, and Russia are still far ahead when it comes to military strength. Here we can see the comparison between these nations. While Germany does have a significant number of soldiers, aircraft, and tanks, it only has a very small presence on the sea. France and the UK do have a considerable navy, with multiple destroyers, submarines, and even 3 aircraft carriers in between them.
And I told you, look at Russia. Woof. Yeah, yes. Yeah, that's a woof. That's a big one too, man. Look at the nuclear armament. Wow. So see, this is more like a war machine right here, right on the right. Even though they have the manpower, right? They have the manpower. They have some of the tanks, some of them a little bit higher than UK. But UK can increase those numbers. They're missing one of the most important areas, man. It's this one right here. Damn, man. Damn, Russia has 70. Golly, man. Ooh, crazy. Look at the nuclear power. Wow, that's the number, right? Ooh, that's 6,257. Wow, that's a high number, huh?
Well, then there's Russia, who just has a lot of everything. As for nuclear weapons, in the aftermath of World War II, it was agreed that Germany cannot possess nuclear, biological, or chemical weapons. However, this comparison is somewhat incomplete and flawed, as it does not take into account military modernization, high-tech weapons, logistics, military experience, and intelligence.
Good point.
Whether Germany will become a military superpower also depends on how the money is spent. Scholz has already hinted at a high-level tech wish list, such as the F-35 fighter to replace older tornado aircraft from the 1970s, the future combat air system, which is developing together with France, heavy transport helicopters, modernization of air defense missile systems, armed drones, modern warships, etc.
So on and so
However,
forth.
as mentioned at the start of the video, Germany still seems to be getting the basics wrong. Only around 40% of helicopters and 65% of tanks are operational. And it gets even worse. A recent German parliamentary report found that only 50% of major military hardware is working properly. Therefore, money needs to be spent in getting existing equipment up and running first. And as you may remember from the start of the video, the German Bundeswehr has the reputation of wasting taxpayers' money. So, will Germany become the new European superpower?
Right? So let me be honest. That's the government, right? They just like to spend. They're not good with it because the people dealing with the money, it's not their money. So they like to spend money that's not there. So that's very common throughout the Western world.
Possibly, but not until Germany cleans up its current mess and invests the new budget wisely. But next to the world's superpowers, such as the US and China, even with Germany's new budget, it remains a small player, as it spends way too little. And this really raises the question.
But then again, this is something. See, Russia's military is way ahead with the lower budget, right? Compared to the dollar, right? I have to say. This number right here from China, that's alarming. That's alarming, bro.
Does an EU army make sense? Check out the videos below to see the reasons for and against an EU army. And if you enjoy the content, please subscribe and like the video. I'm a very new channel.
Yeah, I like that. That's a very interesting content. I think, and I said this in the last video, I think, yeah, Germany is time to put their big gloves on, man. I think you guys can do it. You guys have the experience. You guys have the history. You know, just step out a little bit. That's it. You guys have a great technology, man. I think at least to just protect your country, I think it's a great start, you know. But very interesting video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I would love to hear your guys' opinion. I will see you in the next one.